Welcome everyone to Real JeRi. We are diving deep into the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso. Since seizing power in September 2022, Traore has become a significant figure in African politics, sparking both hope and concern. Today we'll look at what has made him the most loved leader on the African continent, the hurdles he faces, and the turbulent political landscape of this Sahel nation. Burkina Faso, a landlocked country in West Africa, has a history marked by political instability. In recent years, it has been battling a growing Islamist insurgency, a crisis that ultimately led to the ousting of President Roch-Marc Christian Kabore in January 2022, followed by Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba, and finally, the rise of Captain Ibrahim Traore. At just 34 years old upon taking office, Traore became the world's youngest head of state, igniting considerable interest and anticipation across the continent. Traore declared a state of emergency, vowing to tackle the security crisis and adhere to a transition timetable for a return to democracy. But what has his leadership truly entailed? Let's explore the progress and achievements under his tenure. Despite the ongoing security challenges, Burkina Faso has reportedly experienced economic growth under Traore. The gross domestic product has seen an increase from approximately $18.8 billion to $22.1 billion. In 2024, GDP growth was estimated at 4%, primarily driven by the services and agriculture sectors. This growth indicates a degree of resilience in the face of adversity. A significant move towards financial autonomy was the reported clearance of Burkina Faso's $4.7 billion external debt. This has been attributed to prudent financial management and increased revenue from resources like gold. Furthermore, Traore's administration has taken a bold stance by rejecting financial assistance from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, emphasizing the nation's capacity for self-driven development. This resonates with a desire for freedom from the conditions often associated with Western financial aid, highlighting the nation's self-reliance. In the agricultural sector, the government has prioritized boosting production by distributing over 400 tractors, 239 tillers, 710 motor pumps, and 714 motorcycles, along with improved seeds and essential farm inputs. These targeted efforts appear to have yielded substantial results, with tomato production increasing from 315,000 metric tons in 2022 to 360,000 metric tons in 2024, millet production rising from 907,000 to 1.1 million tons, and rice production growing from 280,000 to 326,000 tons. To further industrialize the nation and add value to its resources, Traore's government has taken decisive steps, including the establishment of 2 tomato processing plants, a first for Burkina Faso, and the country's second cotton processing plant. Additionally, the first-ever National Support Center for Artisanal Cotton Processing was inaugurated to provide comprehensive support to local cotton farmers. A key move towards gaining greater control over Burkina Faso's mineral wealth involved the nationalization of 2 gold mines and the cessation of unrefined gold exports to Europe. A state-of-the-art gold refinery, expected to process 150 tons annually, was inaugurated to enhance local processing capabilities and increase government revenue. These types of policies highlight the importance of local control. Infrastructure projects have also been initiated, including the construction of new roads, the widening of existing ones, and the upgrading of gravel roads to paved surfaces. A new airport, the Ouagadougou-Donsine Airport, is under construction and is expected to be completed in 2025, with a capacity to handle 1 million passengers annually. Infrastructure is often the key to the next level in many developing countries. In a move with social and potential political ramifications, Traore's government reduced the salaries of ministers and parliamentarians by 30%, while increasing the salaries of civil servants by 50%. This could boost morale within the civil service and signal a commitment to equitable distribution of resources, an approach which can be quite effective at improving civil society. Symbolically, the government banned French military operations and media in Burkina Faso and expelled French troops, marking a significant shift away from the country's former colonial power. Another symbolic act was the banning of British legal wigs and gowns in local courts, promoting traditional Burkinabe attire. These are moves that stand apart from the norm. In foreign policy, Burkina Faso, under Traoré, played a key role in founding the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, with Mali and Niger. This alliance signifies growing regional cooperation among these nations, particularly in the face of shared security challenges and a desire for a more independent stance in international relations. Traoré's popularity has reportedly soared, with some observers noting the enthusiastic reception he received among other African heads of state. However, alongside these reported achievements, Ibrahim Traoré's tenure has also been marked by significant challenges and negative developments, particularly in security and governance. The persistent and, according to some reports, worsening insecurity remains a major concern. Attacks by Islamist armed groups have continued, resulting in a high number of civilian deaths. Tragically, between January and August 2024 alone, an estimated 6,000 civilians died in conflict-related violence. The government has struggled to regain control over significant portions of the national territory, with approximately 40% reportedly remaining under the influence of insurgents. This loss of control hinders the delivery of essential public services, leading to the closure of numerous schools and health facilities. The ongoing conflict has also exacerbated the humanitarian crisis, with over 2 million people forced from their homes. Governance under Traoré has also faced criticism, particularly concerning human rights and the suppression of dissent. Reports indicate a crackdown on media, political opposition, and critics, including instances of forced conscription of journalists who voiced opposition to the regime. Human rights organizations have documented allegations of abuses by state security forces and pro-government militias, including extrajudicial killings during counterinsurgency operations. The delay in the restoration of democracy and the extension of Traoré's mandate for an additional 5 years following national consultations in May 2024 have raised concerns about a potential slide towards authoritarianism. Furthermore, the dissolution of the government and the removal of the Prime Minister in December 2024 suggest potential instability within the leadership. Economically, while some progress has been reported, the decision to reject international financial assistance from the IMF and World Bank carries potential risks. While the pursuit of self-reliance is a stated goal, the lack of access to international financial support and expertise could strain resources, especially in the face of ongoing security and humanitarian crises. Additionally, the insecurity has negatively impacted gold production, a key sector for Burkina Faso's economy, due to the closure of mines and logistical challenges. A significant political and economic decision was the withdrawal of Burkina Faso from ECOWAS in January 2024, a move made jointly with Mali and Niger. This withdrawal could have negative consequences for regional trade, cooperation, and the ability of Burkinabe citizens to access justice through the ECOWAS Court of Justice. The political atmosphere in Burkina Faso remains highly volatile, underscored by numerous reports and allegations of assassination attempts and coup plots targeting Ibrahim Traore since he assumed power. These repeated attempts suggest significant opposition to his leadership, potentially from within the military or other factions. One notable incident was an alleged coup plot in January 2024, which led to the government passing a law granting amnesty to soldiers accused of plotting a failed 2015 military coup. Analysts suggest this move, while potentially aimed at consolidating support within the military, could also set a dangerous precedent. In May 2024, claims circulated online about another assassination attempt involving presidential guards, although these reports were later debunked. More recently, in April 2025, Burkina Faso's military government claimed to have thwarted yet another coup plot, this time accusing neighboring Ivory Coast of involvement. The army alleged that the conspirators were based in Ivory Coast and were collaborating with terrorist leaders to attack the presidential palace. These accusations of foreign involvement further complicate the already tense geopolitical landscape surrounding Burkina Faso. The frequency of these reported attempts highlights the precarious political situation and the significant focus on internal security. To understand Traoré's leadership, we need to consider the broader context. Burkina Faso has a long history of political instability and faces significant levels of poverty and a persistent Islamist insurgency in the Sahel region. The country remains one of the least developed in the world. The regional dynamics of the Sahel, with militant groups and political transitions in neighboring Mali and Niger, significantly impact Burkina Faso. The Alliance of Sahel States reflects a growing regional cooperation among military-led governments. Economically, Burkina Faso's reliance on natural resources, particularly gold, makes it vulnerable to global price fluctuations and disruptions due to insecurity. Traoré's leadership has faced several controversies. His rise to power through a coup raises questions about legitimacy. Authoritarian tendencies, including the suppression of media and human rights, have drawn criticism. The continued insecurity raises questions about the effectiveness of his security strategies. Concerns exist about the long-term sustainability of rejecting international aid. The extension of his mandate until 2029 has fueled fears of prolonged military rule. In conclusion, Ibrahim Traoré's leadership in Burkina Faso represents a complex and evolving situation. His efforts to assert national sovereignty and pursue economic self-reliance are notable. However, significant challenges remain, particularly in the areas of security, governance, and human rights. The numerous reported attempts on his life underscore the deep-seated instability. While he enjoys considerable popular support for his nationalist stance, the long-term success of his leadership hinges on addressing the security crisis, upholding human rights, and fostering a sustainable path towards development and democratic governance. The future of Burkina Faso under Traoré's continued rule remains uncertain, with both significant challenges and opportunities on the horizon. What are your thoughts on the situation in Burkina Faso? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to JeRi for more like this one. Thank you for watching.